Here's Johnny.
Take your stinking paws off me.
Be cool. Be cool.
You fools, you're in danger! He's alive! Wait, 21 gigawatts! Hallelujah! Holy shit! You owe me this!
Jack Burt, me.
We're pretty good to run, girly boy. Stop it!
What's up, you movie-loving freaks, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host, as always, Jay Schatzer, and this should be the last Zombie Collection update. Hopefully we knock it out, because I want to move on to other stuff, because I got tons of cool stuff to show you, and don't want to waste all my time on zombie movies, even though I love them. But let's dive right in and get this thing moving. Alright, up to start with, we're gonna throw 4 films into one update here so we can keep it moving. And that is the Rec series. Whoa, if we can see them all. They're magical. But yeah, this Spanish horror series first starts out with Rec 1. Pretty much a found footage kind of movie where zombie-like demons take over an apartment complex and all hell breaks loose. Really great flick. Really great experience. When it first came out, everyone was talking about it. It was the talk of the town, and just really enjoyed it. Really cool stuff. Very original, decent story, and just fun as hell to watch. But then they followed that up a few years later with Rec 2. And Rec 2 it picks up exactly after the first one, but yeah, it just follows this crazy story of people either possessed or infected or what, and it's just, they run around killing people and taking names. But really cool, really neat follow-up, and I believe it has the same actress that was in the first one. But it's been a while since I've seen this one, so might have to check this one out again. I remember the first Rec, it was very vivid in my memory, but the second one, kind of a blur. But Rec 3, boom, is more of a traditional film, not found footage, and kind of follows like a marriage that's going to happen, a wedding, and that's when the zombie apocalypse kind of puts everyone's plans down the shitter. And this chick right here, the bride, has to take a chainsaw and take business into her own hands and save her wedding party. So it's got a really silly kind of flavor to it with that whole kind of concept. But for the most part, it keeps it pretty much an even attitude. It doesn't have any kind of silly situations. It's not a comedy or anything like that. It just kind of goes a little overboard. But yeah, this one's a really enjoyable one. I kind of like this because it goes away from the found footage style, because I don't really like found footage at all, really at all. So that one's a really cool addition to it. And then the fourth entry, Rec 4, kind of has a mixture of found footage and actual footage in like a movie, and it all takes place on a like an ocean liner, and the army are trying to contain the virus and do experiments. And the main character, this girl right here that was the news reporter from the first film, she's in it, and it's just kind of, I wasn't too thrilled with it when I first saw it, so I can't really recommend it. But the first movie, definitely. Third for being cool, how it switched things up. But the whole series in general is a really decent zombie Spanish film series, so definitely check those ones out. I do own the Quarantine, which is the Americanized remake, and I haven't even seen that one yet. But original series, pretty damn fun. Check it out if you're interested. But let's keep moving. Alright, to a South Korean zombie film that is a hell of a lot of fun totally intense and just really wickedly cool. It is Train to Busan. And this one's badass. I've been wanting to watch the prequel anime to this film. I can't remember what it's, Seoul Station or something like that, but it looked really cool. But this movie is just badass. Totally crazy. The zombies in this movie actually run, and they just get into hordes and just go crazy. It's really intense. This guy right here, the main character, is trying to keep his daughter safe as they travel across the country when shit hits the fan. And it's just really intense. A really well done movie. So if you haven't seen that one and you heard the hype, but you didn't want to buy into it, definitely buy into it. Check it out and see it for yourself. It's really great. Really intense. But let's keep moving to Cooties. This one is a delightful zombie comedy. Very lighthearted, silly as hell. Centers on a school where all the teachers are trying to survive. Most of the students. This is a world where all the kids become zombies, so they have to pretty much beat the crap and kill their students to survive. It's got a great cast. Rainn Wilson, Elijah Wood. There's a few other people in there that might be memorable, but those are the two that stand out. It's just a fun movie. It's along the lines of anything that came after Shaun of the Dead. Any kind of zombie comedy is not as great as that, but handles its own and is entertaining. So check out Cooties if you like those kind of flicks. And we're going to keep moving on to an interesting little zombie indie film that came out. Not a lot of people talked about it. I probably did a small review on my blog back in the day. But that is Exit Humanity. Really interesting flick. I believe it's in the Civil War era? Or around, yeah, the Civil War. And pretty much just I can't remember if he's a Confederate soldier. And he's just kind of wandering the countryside, coming across zombies. It's just a very interesting atmospheric film set in a time period that not a lot of people would expect for a zombie film. So it's really interesting. And it's competently shot. Looks good for a low budget indie. And just really great. So definitely check that one out. It's well worth your time. And it's got a lot of great effects a lot of special effects that are great. And just a cool story. An unorthodox story that kind of gets out of the trappings of zombie apocalypses in modern times and all this same crap that we see over and over again. So check that one out if you're looking for something original in the zombie world. But let's keep moving on to something that was a delightful little treat that I discovered when it first came out. I believe this is probably a year or two old now. But it is a zombie comedy called Night of the Living Dead. And just from that title and the cover, you're thinking this looks stupid as shit. But it's actually charming and just cute. For some reason, the main character who plays Deb, she's just, I don't know. There's something about her that I just couldn't stop watching because I had to see what happened to Deb. And it's just really cool. It's a really fun flick. Nothing too serious. It's a zombie comedy. I don't remember too many comedic moments. It's more like the situation and the characters. She's just a goofy, strange kid, and she likes this guy, and she's trying to get with him, and they kind of get caught up in the zombie apocalypse and have to survive together. It's a really cool odd couple kind of story, but a lot of charm, a lot of wit, just a harmless, cute, fun film. But check it out if that sounds interesting. Hell, make it a date night with your loved one. But that's Night of the Living Dead. Next up is a Cuban zombie comedy in the vein of Shaun of the Dead, because it is called Juan of the Dead. What a clever title. But this flick, I actually reviewed this one on my blog. Didn't do a video review for it, but it's really interesting just because it's shot in Cuba, so you see a lot of locales that you wouldn't normally see in zombie movies, because well, they're not known for their films, are they? But this one is actually pretty fun, interesting, and the main character of Juan is an unlikely hero, and the whole cast in general does a great job. It's got a lot of style to it, just an interesting take on the zombie apocalypse film. And it's nice to see it done in Cuba with the Cuban sensibilities and kind of culture. So definitely check that one out. I loved it. I was waiting for it forever to come out when I first heard about it, saw it, and loved it. So, Juan of the Dead. Up next is something weird. No, it is The Child. This one I have not seen since I first watched it. And I remember it being really, really cool. So I'm going to have to check it out to see what I think about it now. But when I first saw it, I really loved it. It was extremely atmospheric and creepy and had a lot of charm in that low budget sense where it feels like something you could have made with friends, but it definitely has some great moments in it and creepy moments. From the title of The Child, it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything great. And even from the back stills, you're just like, yeah, nothing's knocking my socks off here. But for some reason, it really stuck with me and just had a really potent atmosphere to it. I think it's all centered around Halloween too, so there's a lot of like Halloween decorations and just have that feel to it. But definitely check out The Child. I'm going to watch it again soon because I want to know more about it. I remember it was just really great and stuck with me. So yeah, I'm going to definitely check that one out again, maybe post my thoughts. But let's keep moving. We're all over the place in countries, so this one is from France, I believe. And it is called La Horde, probably The Horde. But I think this is actually the this is probably the French edition or the UK edition of The Horde. But this one takes place on an apartment high-rise, and it's just filled with criminals, drug dealers, gangbangers, and all kinds of stuff. And for some reason there's a zombie apocalypse going on, and all the badasses have to fight each other while fighting the zombies and staying alive while SWAT teams are coming. It just gets all kinds of crazy and over the top, but it's got a great international flavor to it. Hardcore, brutal, just really, really interesting stuff. So if you haven't heard of The Horde, check it out. I remember it having a fast pace and just balls to the wall kind of attitude. So The Horde, definitely check it out. Entertaining. But next up, and I believe this one is from France. It's like international movie headquarters here in this edition. I think this is France. I'm gonna go with a French movie. If it's not, let me know. Just going off memory here. But it is Mutants, and this one is really, really great. It's most memorable to me because it was a zombie apocalypse in kind of like a snowscape world where everything's covered in snow. The zombies are just kind of like crazed mutants that run around just murdering people. It's got a great like Night of the Living Dead kind of feel to it though, because the world's just dead and people are trying to survive. And it's just really, really, really creepy. It definitely has a pace to it, and it feels original. Even though it's in a zombie apocalypse, it feels like something you've never seen before. So definitely check out Mutants for sure. Kind of came and went and nobody talked about it. I mentioned it briefly on my blog when it first came out and did a review, I think. I did a write-up. But Mutants is definitely one to look out for. Love the flick. But up next is a Japanese one. Man, you think I would have put these in an order where it made sense from country to country to country, not just jumping back and forth. But here is Junk. Now this one I watched probably when it first came out, when the Japanese horror, J-horror, was like really big, and I was just trying to grab up everything I could from The Grudge, the original Grudge, Rings, all that kind of stuff, and I ran across Junk. And I remember it was very, very weird. Not what I was expecting, but then again, I didn't really know what to expect. I was more like a Romero zombie guy, so that's kind of what would make me grade it up or down on whether I liked it or not. If it was away from kind of Romero, I'd be like, I don't know if it was that good. So I'm probably going to have to check it out now that my sensibilities have broadened and I'm kind of appreciating just every little thing I come across. But, yeah, it's a very, very strange flick. I remember most of it took place inside like a factory or something like that, but junk. I'm definitely going to have to check it out. Definitely something interesting. It says it's ultra violent, so junk. Moving on. Alright, well this one we're probably going to put into two different segments because I kind of just... It's a mixed bag here, this next part. I have, like, seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, and I haven't even watched this series all the way through because I got fatigued with Walking Dead. But I love zombies, so I bought it up for when I am not so overwhelmed with zombie television. But I've got Fear the Walking Dead. I saw the first couple episodes and I thought it was decent enough, good stuff. But I was so goddamn sick of Walking Dead and its slow trotting storyline and characters that I can't stand, and it could go on and on of how Walking Dead pisses me off to no end. But I think I've only gotten to season 5 of Walking Dead and I just gave up. I'm just like, forget it, I can't take this crap anymore. Like, it's got great parts in it, but then you have to wait like 3 episodes for something cool to happen on that same level. I'm a movie guy, I hate TV, I cannot do episodic things from one episode to the next. I'm impatient, pissed off. Here's The Walking Dead. I don't know, probably have 1, 2, 3, I think I skipped to 5 and then 6. I think I went backwards, but you got the idea. I have 6 different seasons and I think I'm missing number 3 or something like that, but yeah, I mean, that's The Walking Dead. Everyone and their grandmother's seen the show, so I don't have to describe it to you or tell you anything about it. I thought it was an interesting stuff, but I don't have enough time in the day to watch every single episode to catch up. Maybe one day when I retire, I will sit and watch The Walking Dead. But that is the rest of my zombie collection. I can move on to bigger and better stuff, or more interesting stuff at least. But hope you saw some stuff in here that was interesting. I know a lot of people have heard the Rex series, so that should have been no surprise. Exit Humanity, Night of the Living Dead, even Dawn of the Dead. Not a lot of people talk about Mutants for sure. If you like hardcore horror movies that are damn serious and have a great atmosphere, watch that. Other than that, yeah, I'll see you guys at the next movie review or collection update. I don't know what I'm going to move on to next. Maybe just go into Sam Raimi with the Army of Darkness and Evil Dead collection I have. I have so many different versions. I try to condense them, but you know how that is. But yeah, we'll dive into something crazy next for you guys. Gotta fill up these damn shelves and make more shelves. But I will see you guys all next time. So take care and stay out of trouble. I don't know how to end these. See ya!